Hi, I'm Sabina Fu. Today on Ghosts of Mississauga, your stories of paranormal activity bring us back to the Franklin House.
Jessie's still making her presence known. According to my staff, she's still moving chairs around.
Jessie has a very strong mark around her neck. I don't know if I agree with the hanging, but she does have some bruising and some strong marks. That was how she did pass away.
Now, we featured the Franklin House in our first episode of Ghosts of Mississauga, and I was blown away by the amount of messages I got from you guys saying that you too had experienced paranormal phenomena here. So we're back, and we've brought psychic Bettee Giles with us. We decided to bring Bettee to the Franklin House to see if we could uncover more information about the entity named Jessie. Stories about Jessie date back to the late 1960s or the early 1970s. The building was created by local businessman Benjamin Franklin in 1855. After his death, the building was converted into the Queen's Hotel. According to legend, it was during this era that Jessie reportedly either committed suicide or was murdered.
First that the ghost was documented in the building was back in about 2004. We were working with an author to research a book that would become Haunted Mississauga, and we organized for clairvoyants to visit the building, and they actually went a little incognito as patrons and later to interview staff of the building, and it's from that interview process and that investigation that a name was applied to the spirit for the first time that we know of, and the name that they gave her was Jessie. We don't know exactly what time period she came from. She's somewhere in the early years of it being a hotel, so probably from the 1880s to about 1900. She wanders the place in which she passed away, or the place in which she died, which was a former room on the second floor, as well as a doorway in which she will appear and her image or likeness will be seen. Some have said they see a disembodied head, some say they see the actual person in clothes. There are those that even say they see her face looking out the window of where she passed away. But nonetheless, it does track to the story of the history of the building. And that being of a commercial entity, and it's one that it carries on to this day. And so the ghost story is but one element of its multifaceted history.
This is the doorway where Jessie reportedly died, and where she seems to make her presence known in photographs. Several years ago, a musician performing at the bar captured the image of what appeared to be a head floating in the doorway. During my first visit to the Franklin House, I captured streaks of light in a photograph that I took in exactly the same spot. A few weeks later, our crew spotted what appeared to be a face in the wall that could only be seen through the camera. So are these incidents all just coincidence? Or is there really a ghost haunting the stairwell at the Franklin House? So we are back for more stories of Jessie. Out of all the episodes that we've done so far, none has struck a chord more than the Franklin House.
Oh, really?
It is the most comments, the most views on Facebook, our website, and YouTube. So people know what's going on here. We had another viewer who said that they'd had a friend who'd worked here many years ago, before your ownership, who quit within days because of how afraid they were of what was happening. So tell us how things are going here with Jessie.
Well, Jessie's still making her presence known. According to my staff, she's still moving chairs around and making noises up here and scaring a few of them in the late morning hours. And oh yeah.
Now, our psychic Bettee Giles is going to arrive momentarily, and we're going to be taking a little walk around the building to get her psychic impressions.
Okay.
What do you want to know?
Well, the main thing is if there is a spirit here, or you know, some spirits, then yeah, I'd love to know that. You know, if she knows a name, or you know, like the psychic back in 2004 said the name was Jessie, but I've also heard that there's 2 spirits here. So you know,
I've heard 3.
Okay, well, there you go.
After we shot our first episode at the Franklin house, 2 of the waitresses told us they continue to hear chairs moving on the upper level after the bars closed. And a bouncer said that he witnessed a keg lift itself off the floor and fall back down again. Is this the work of a ghost named Jessie? Hopefully, psychic Bettee Giles will be able to give us that answer. Coming up on Ghosts of Mississauga, Bettee makes contact with the spirit named Jessie.
The one that's very strong is Jessie. She's kind of pushing me to turn around and look at something.